EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live second round coverage of the U.S. Open Championship. Down to the first tee now to get the round going, and a stout par 4, Frank.
Yeah, straight out of the gates. The wind obviously very important here. If you were to play it into a head breeze, this would be just a mammoth hole on the 500 yards. Fortunately, with a little prevailing breeze, though, it'll shorten up considerably, but will bring that bunker on the right in play.
Excellent opening tee shot right in the fairway. All right, Frank, how would you break down this approach shot here at the first at Chambers Bay?
Well, Rich, it's partially blind, so you've really got to fixate on the exact point that you want to aim at. That's one of the beauties of this golf course. So maybe even just have a little look and make sure you know that line, because once that ball hits the ground, the natural contours are going to take it in a certain direction. So really fixate on that line.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Well played here. Went straight for the flagstick, and she will have a nice putt coming up. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Putting on a show, this tournament moves to 15 under par. Second hole now here at Chambers Bay in the U.S. Open, Frankie. It's a relatively short par 4.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's easy, though. This is more of a strategic hole. You want to lay the ball up around sort of 270, 280 yards, avoid that big bunker on the left. It is going to leave a short on end, but the hole bends to the left as well as the slope of the land is right to left. Got to take that into account.
Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is. Ooh, nice little bounce forward. Should be close to 300, 290.
Frank, when I think about the U.S. Open, I think about Justin Rose at Marion in 2013. He hit a nearly perfect drive right down the middle, right next to that famous Hogan plaque, Hogan winning there in 1950. And then he hits that second shot, the 4-iron, and it appears to be perfect. But U.S. Opens aren't always fair, are they? And then from that point, he took what appeared to be a bad break, and he still went forward for the win.
I think it's a great example, Rich, that you just brought up. I mean, there's an example of two of the best shots hit in U.S. Open pressure, and yet they're not rewarded with a birdie putt. And I think that's what defines the toughest championship that there is in golf.
Wow, almost fell within just a few inches of dropping. So just a formality here. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Now set to play the first par 3 of this U.S. Open, Frank, the third hole here at Chambers Bay.
A little bit like the second hole where the contours slope from right to left. So if that breeze is coming from that direction, that's going to swing the ball all the way across the green. And this green is anything other than symmetrical.
Frank, I think that's going to the bunker.
Looks like it.
Somehow that managed to miss the bunker, Frank.
Yeah, that looked like it was sand for sure.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either.
It's amazing. Doesn't matter how close it goes. It's an extra shot. That one will definitely hurt.
Just a couple of feet.
Literally no error in that putting stroke. Good putt.
Frank, so often a U.S. Open is defined by difficult par 4s. How does the fourth here at Chambers Bay stack up?
Well, Richard, adds to your list here. 495 yards, that says one thing, but the fact that it's anything other than straight, bunkers left and down the right side, plus the hole bends to the right. So this is a very strategic hole. If anything, something slightly left of center, but you're still going to have a lengthy second shot.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Frank, on an uphill shot like this one, did you do anything differently in terms of your setup over the ball?
Yeah, I made sure the ball wasn't too far forward because on an uphill shot, there's always a struggle to get all your weight going forward.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
You can see why this player has been compared to a young Rory McIlroy, featured golfer making birdie and now sitting comfortably inside that cut line. Wow, check out the elevation change, Frank, from tee all the way down to the fairway. No wonder they call this the 5th hole here at Chambers Bay. Free fall?
You better take a parachute, that's for sure, but you're going to need a parachute to land the ball and stop it on this green as well. Not overly long, well, should I say US Open standards, 488. These days they stretch it well over 500 yards. But one of the tighter tee shots.
Beautiful rhythmic swing right there and right down Peachtree. Now the approach shot here at the 5th hole at Chambers Bay, and how difficult is this?
Well, it looks straightforward, but the second shot, once again, just semi-blind. You've got to be very aware of that little central bunker that's just short of the green, because you're either going to have to go over it or around it.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. That is classy.
A chance of going in.
And getting ready for the putt. So the dominant performance continues.
Yeah, we're watching two tournaments right now, the one at the top and the rest.
Frank, now at the 6th, this appears to be a testing par 4 long one.
It is, but once again, a generous fairway. Just use those mounds down the left as an indicator on your line. Hole bends a little bit to the right. Good tee shot, though, and everything is in front of you.
Come on, that's not even human. That's ridiculous. That is 350 plus yards. Now the approach shot here at the 6th at Chambers Bay, and what's the key, Frank?
Well, I think it's a fun second shot, Rich. Too often people just look at the yardage and they blaze away, but really, if you wanted to play this hole as the Scots want to play the game, and when the pin's at the back, you'd hit a low running shot that bisects those two bunkers.
What a shot. Almost in. Clean this up with a tap. Score that a birdie. Well, Frank, what a stretch of tough par 4s here at Chambers Bay. Now to the 7th. Long uphill par 4 and a lot of trouble to the right.
Yeah, and it's all sand, that's for sure. If you miss the field on the left, then it's all dunes, so take your pick, really. But ideally, that green piece that the superintendent often mows each and every day, that's the place to go. And for a US Open at 508 yards, if you miss that little green strip, then this hole will be hazardous because it's going to play a lot longer than that uphill.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Little uphill to this green, Frank. That's well played. Now a good look at birdie.
It's no snack, though.
Continues to putt beautifully. Now to the second par 5 of the round here at Chambers Bay and the U.S. Open. It's a long one.
Yeah, it's a beast. You miss this fairway, you could be hitting all day long, and of course that's going to rack up a fairly healthy score. Meanwhile, hit the fairway there. Only the longest hitters will reach this par 5 and 2. But still a good chance, even with a wedge, to make a birdie because the green slopes back to the player.
Frank, if this were baseball, that would be an upper deck moonshot.
It'd be out of the stands. But not only that, it is in the middle of the fairway. Long, incredibly long, and straight.
Tape measure shot. Here we go. And what a shot. Setting up for an eagle here. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Rich Lerner and Frank Nobilo back with you here at Chambers Bay in the U.S. Open. Now to the 9th hole, closing out this front side.
Well, it just goes to show the tremendous variety that the designer Robert Trent Jones II has done here. We've seen already a tremendous variation, and then this sort of just goes on top of it. Elevated tee, goes down to a green that just slopes a little bit to the right, well bunkered on the right.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Mishit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All of the above, maybe. That's a little bit of a head scratcher. It wasn't that hard a shot.
Pretty good shot right there.
In this situation, Richard, bogey's not all that bad. Still has the lead.
Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
And let's see what she's got here. She is loading up for the big one.
Can a ball explode?
That is big. I mean, really big. Excellent start off the tee. That's a great way to begin this hole. Probably going to have to hit one more club here, Frank. A little bit uphill. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Frank, not just a player, but an artist. Just beautiful work right there.
The only thing I can say, Rich, is that was Seve-esque.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Getting set to tee off at the 11th hole, long par 4, 537 yards. Frank, how do you play this hole, with a bazooka?
Yeah, try and take that June out of play, that's for sure, in the middle of the fairway. Bunkers down the left are more for scenic rather than, they're not really problematic for the player off the tee. Just, as I said, hit it over that June, and then really there's a ridge in the middle of this green, so you've got to be on the right level.
That's a good drive right there. Got all of it.
Did you hear the sound?
The 11th hole. Frank, what's ahead here?
This is another green that's sort of sloped. There's a lot of little slopes in this green here, plus the green angles from right to left. So it just depends on whether that second shot that lands. You've got to be well aware of what you're landing on. If you're landing on a downslope, it's going to kick forward. Obviously, an upslope, it's going to stop that much quicker.
That will be a great look at birdie. Settles in over the putt. Down it. That's a birdie. Frank, when you think of U.S. Opens, you so often think of a tough grind. But in recent years, they've added some spice with the reachable par fours, and we have one right here at the 12th.
And this is the reason why we're starting to see a different type of U.S. Open champion over the years. The Rory McIlroys, the Tiger Woods, even Martin Keimer. Guys that are strong enough, powerful enough to take advantage of these type of holes.
I mean, that is a sight to behold. What a spectacular shot we just saw on the par 4 with a drive in one.
It's that sneaky distance.
What a tremendous display of golf this has been. Onto the 13th hole here at Chambers Bay. It's a par 4, and they call this one Eagle Eye.
Yeah, dogleg to the right, beefy par 4. You hit it down to one of the widest fairways on the golf course. And then up in front, if you look at the middle of the green, you're going to see one bunker. Needless to say, that's got to be avoided.
She's ended up on the fairway, and with such a good lie, so many more options available now. Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. How good has the swing tempo been?
Has not lost it since the first hole, Rich. I think that's been the key to the round. Started with that rhythm, even though the winds were out there. The winds haven't abated, and neither has that rhythm.
Down, little Sheba. Down! Terrific golf shot. And now, that for an easy birdie. So test her from 4 feet.
Comfortably knocks it in.
Frank, a 5th consecutive par 4 here at the U.S. Open. This is the 14th hole, and I'm guessing by the time you set foot on this tee, you'll know exactly where your game is at.
Oh, this one here, great reward for someone that's driving the ball well. If you can drive it, down the left middle, avoid that little one-pop bunker in the middle of the fairway, you're going to certainly shorten this hole up. And then you can start to use the contours of this hole too, that bend right to left. And 546 yards becomes much shorter than what you would think. That's a ginormous tee shot.
With these downhill shots, really the key is always balance, and maybe you want to take a little bit of a wider setup, and then club selection obviously is important. You maybe take a little less club and just try not to overswing. Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Midway through this back 9, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Getting set now over the putt. Frank, this game will drive you crazy.
Yeah, you can do so many things right, and then just something so simple, completely wrong.
Good effort and good par putt. 167 yards on this hole. It's the 15th at the U.S. Open. Nice little par 3.
Oh, fun hole. Well bunkered with that. Once again, a bunker on a dominant side of the green. This time the right side, and one little pokey bunker there on the left side. Green's big enough. A few little contours in this green. Magnificent view, of course, but it's fun to have a hole that's not overly long.
She is putting the full arsenal of her skill set on display this afternoon. Beautiful shot. Shouldn't be a problem here. Doing what needs to be done. You need to make them from that distance. Now to the 3-hole finishing stretch here at Chambers Bay, and we get it started with a relatively short par 4. It's a 423-yard hole, the 16th, Frank.
Being slightly to the right, there's a huge bunker all the way down the right side that sort of starts, I don't know, maybe about 100 yards off the tee, goes all the way to the green. You go right, and then you realize why this hole is called Beach.
Interesting, with the almost space-age advancements in golf equipment, what with new, lighter materials, and with the increased focus on fitness and strength, players are hitting the ball longer than ever. That has forced architects to lengthen the golf courses without sacrificing the integrity or the shot value of the original design. Well, that's how you play the game, right there. For her birdie. Good putt. Now to the 17th, par 3 here at Chambers Bay.
Yeah, they say beached at 16, that's the name. This one's called derailed. So you imagine coming down the stretch of a US Open, exactly what you're going to require. That's your best golf, and you're going to need your best tee shot here at this par 3. It mightn't be overly long, but when you look at that green just sitting up there perched, this one you do not want to make a mistake in.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
Oh, that incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walking golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of the game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course.
Yet again, in the bunker off the tee. Missed the fairway in the fairway bunker now.
It's not all gloom and doom, though. Lip isn't too high. A good swing here still shouldn't be a problem.
On the green in regulation. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. So all the scores have been posted for round number 2, and look who is on top of the leaderboard, Frank.
Yeah, with 2 very solid rounds of golf. Key right now, just stay out of your own way and keep it up. The pressure will start to build. We know that as you get closer to the end of this tournament.
EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the U.S. Open Championship. Oh, I love this. She is winding up, just wants to tear the cover off this golf ball. Wow, I mean, she absolutely annihilated that tee ball. Beautiful rhythmic swing right there and right down Peachtree. Now the approach here at hole number 1, and Frank, what are we looking at?
Well, semi-blind, but it's fine. You know, just a little peek and you can see what's in front of you. Really no bunkers down the left side. If you do miss down there, a little chip back up the hill, but it's a big enough green.
On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
Great start.
Second hole now here at Chambers Bay in the U.S. Open, Frank. It's a relatively short par 4.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's easy, though. This is more of a strategic hole. You want to lay the ball up around sort of 270, 280 yards. Avoid that big bunker on the left. It is going to leave a short iron in, but the hole bends to the left as well as the slope of the land is right to left. Got to take that into account.
That's a good shot, right where you want to be, in the fairway here at number 2. Frank, what do you think about this approach shot here at the second at Chambers Bay?
If you've driven it down the right side, you have a much better view of this green, better access to the flag when it's on the back left. You really want to just avoid that little bunker that cuts in on the right side, and there's a little sort of gut on that left side of the green, where that sort of collects the ball. This looks like it's going to find the target.
That is classy.
No chance of going in.
Back-to-back birdies, we'll see. Has it for another birdie. 2 holes, 2 birdies. Now set to play the first par 3 of this U.S. Open, Frank, the third hole here at Chambers Bay.
A little bit like the second hole where the contours slope from right to left. So if that breeze is coming from that direction, that's going to swing the ball all the way across the green. And this green is anything other than symmetrical.
On the green, and a chance for birdie.
Second shot.
So, Frank, what do you think of the start so far?
Rock solid. Very impressed.
Frank, the fourth hole here at Chambers Bay is the kind of par 4 that says, emphatically, U.S. Open.
Yeah, it's not a rarity these days to have par 4s that are around 500 yards. This is just slightly shy of that. Once again, it's just a tee shot. Avoid trouble left and right. A little bit of a bend to the right on this hole, but don't be fooled by that. If anything, the drive has to be hit down the left side.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, what's the best play here on this second shot at the fourth hole?
Obviously, if you can reach, you should still go for it. The bunker, that sort of short right and wraps around that right side, actually is there to help you. There's nothing wrong with that second shot catching the ridge and going back in there, but a good one that kicks straight, chance for eagle.
What a shot, perfectly placed right next to the hole. Nudge this one home, finish it up. It is in the hole for a birdie. Fifth hole here at the U.S. Open. Frank, why do they call it free fall?
I guess because you can make a mess here. You just keep going down. Bunkers left and right. There's acres of sand on the left and right. And just one little measly bunker. But it's smack bang from the string.
And a huge elevation change from tee to fairway. Split the fairway with that. Just a gorgeous swing. Frank, what do we have with the approach shot here at the 5th?
Just got to be cognizant of that bunker. That's you can see it there. That's just central front of this green. You've either got to go around it, or if you're good enough, then you go straight over it. But you've got to have a ton of spin on the second shot.
This is a good-looking shot. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Getting set to hit the tee shot here at the 6th at Chambers Bay. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
There's a nice dune down that left side that sort of gives you a good line that you can work the ball off here. But remember, this is a links golf course, so you don't try and fight Mother Nature because she'll always win. So just anything down the left, let that ball sort of kick its way back towards the middle of the fairway. A lengthy par 4 though at 495. Has it come down yet? Not only is it straight, it's mega long.
That was a solid strike and a good result. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Frank, this is a player in full flight right now.
It looks too easy right now.
Well, Frank, this is what a U.S. Open is all about. A long, tough par 4 up the hill.
Yeah, just a beast. And it's a dogleg ride on top of that. There's more humps and bumps and all this than a dermatologist would ever dream of down there.
Just pulverize that golf ball. What a drive. Just tattooed that. Frank, straight uphill with this approach shot, what do you have to factor in terms of club selection and setup over the ball?
Well, you're going to have to take at least an extra club to make up for that added elevation. And also, it's tougher to get onto that front foot.
Like a machine out there. Another green in regulation. Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
Nothing wrong with that par putt. Well, this hole, the 8th, says U.S. Open all the way. Tee set back to well over 600 yards, Frank, par 5.
Well, it's called high road and low road, so which way would you prefer? I'd rather take the high road and that sort of whip one down the fairway there, hopefully around the 300-yard mark, and you just might make this par 5 and 2. Then you can tell all your mates. If you take the low road, you're going to rack up a big number, and you don't want to tell anybody.
She's ended up on the fairway, and with such a good lie, so many more options available now. Nice position, short grass, second shot. That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at eagle coming up. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
Now, as they say, 300-yard drive, one shot, miss a short one, also one shot.
Yeah, that's painful.
Virtually no error in that putting stroke. Good putt.
Frank, the 9th hole, called Olympus. I mean, that is very grand sounding. Like something that...
You're talking Greek god here, aren't you? Come on, this golf course is for the mere mortals, Rich.
Well, this could be good. That's a good shot right there, about 15 feet away, and a good look at birdie.
Really? This is an awkward length.
Didn't quite have the break on that medium length putt right there. Just a couple of feet. Stroked that with authority. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. Oh, beautiful swing, and the result is every bit as good.
In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back nine. Probably going to have to hit one more club here, Frank. A little bit uphill. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Superb shot.
It's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
That shot falls for a birdie. Stepping up to the tee here at the 11th, Frank.
It looks straightforward. You see a big dune in the middle of the fairway. You can really take that out of play. Get it down there as far as you can. You're going to need to. And then from there on in, it's really just trying to find out exactly where you want to land that second shot so that you can get it on the right level.
Always makes the hole easier, playing it from the fairway. The 11th hole, Frank, what's ahead here?
This is another green that's sort of sloped. There's a lot of little slopes in this green here, plus the green angles from right to left. So it just depends on whether that second shot that lands. You've got to be well aware of what you're landing on. If you're landing on a downslope, it's going to kick forward. Obviously, on an upslope, it's going to stop that much quicker.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Settles in over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, we just came off that long par 4 at the 11th, well over 500 yards. Now at the 12th, we go in the opposite direction. This has become a staple at a U.S. Open, the reachable par 4.
Yeah, the logic would say just grab sort of a mid-iron to a long iron, knock it down, wedge it on there, and have no strain, no sweat. But who's going to play golf like that? Take the head cover off. Come on, chance it. It's called narrows. The odds are going to be narrow, but you just might hit the green.
She is putting the full arsenal of her skill set on display this afternoon. Beautiful shot. Shouldn't be a problem here. Man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. This will be a birdie if it drops.
Comfortably knocks it in.
Coming down the stretch here at the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay, just 6 holes to play. And Frank, this par 4 13th will really test the players.
It is. If someone makes 3 here down the stretch, it will be monumental. A 4 here, no one would leave this hole. Grab the fire extinguisher, put out that ball is on fire. It's melting going through the air. That club must have melted after that one.
This looks to be at least an extra club, maybe 2 clubs going way up that hill to the green.
Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Count it. That's a birdie. Frank, a 5th consecutive par 4 here at the U.S. Open. This is the 14th hole, and I'm guessing by the time you set foot on this tee, you'll know exactly where your game is at.
Oh, this one here, great reward for someone that's driving the ball well. If you can drive it, down the left middle, avoid that little one-pot bunker in the middle of the fairway, you're going to certainly shorten this hole up. And then you can start to use the contours of this hole too, that bend right to left. And 546 yards becomes much shorter than what you would think. That's an absolute beauty.
All right, Frank, what's the play into the green here?
Well, this the green's got a little bit of a funnel effect. General contours slope right to left, and towards this green there is a little bit of a ridge and some mounding, short right. But just use those in your favour. The ball's going to do what Mother Nature wants it to do. You don't have to fight it.
Well played here. Went straight for the flagstick, and she will have a nice putt coming up. Drip that in.
Well, it's 4 1/4 inches. Use it all.
All right, on to the 15th. Hey, Frank, what is that thing over there? I haven't seen one in a while.
It's a tree. That's right.
A tree.
Trees do exist at Chambers Bay. So do short par 3s. Well, in a US Open, they'll have it around 250 yards. But this is a fun hole. This is it's sort of in a weird way. It's a risk-reward par 3. A good tee shot here. You can easily walk off with 2. Get a little casual off there, then there is a huge bunker that just wraps around the right side of the screen.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Now to the par 4, 423 yards, 16th hole. What's the right play, Frank?
Fairway first once again. You'll see the slope of the fairway from the left to the right side. It means move your aim down that left side. It'll make this fairway appear that much bigger. And of course, then when you hit into this green, you're really going to have to flight that second shot properly. This is like a tabletop green.
It's nice to roll in a 25-footer now and then. Those feel good. But still, there's nothing like hitting that perfect tee ball. Long, straight.
Yeah, you can puff out your chest, last to play, the advantage, holes shorter. Basically, the list goes on.
Oh, get down. Look out.
It's over. The green.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Well, this is how you build a good round, Frank. You just keep hitting greens. Frank and par here, that's just fine. Pressure's beginning to rise here. 17th hole of the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay. And this one, Frank, the par 3 will require a really good shot.
It's amazing how many U.S. Opens have great 17th hole. I think of Winged Foot, par 3, 17th, even Marion, par 3. This one will certainly fit in the same vein. It's named Derailed, and it will derail many a player trying to win a U.S. Open.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a full melody now.
It's a big putt right here. The birdie.
Great, too.
Beautiful. Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realise that Chambers Bay was designed as a walk.
Yeah, let's see what she's got here. She is loading up for the big one. Just pulverized that golf ball. Wow, smoked that tee shot. Nice position, short grass, second shot. That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at Eagle coming up. Getting set now over the putt.
Really solid stroke.
Frank, that front page of the leaderboard has been looking good all week.
You're exactly right, Rich. I think our winner is certainly going to come from that list right now. I'm excited for tomorrow's final round.
EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live final round coverage of the U.S. Open Championship.
Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my idol.
It looks like Rory McIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow through. Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. All right, Frank, how would you break down this approach shot here at the first at Chambers Bay?
Well, Rich, it's partially blind, so you've really got to fixate on the exact point that you want to aim at. That's one of the beauties of this golf course. So maybe even just have a little look and make sure you know that line, because once that ball hits the ground, the natural contours are going to take it a certain direction. So really fixate on that line.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot. Great start.
Second hole now here at Chambers Bay in the U.S. Open. Frank, it's a relatively short par 4.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's easy, though. This is more of a strategic hole. You want to lay the ball up around sort of 270, 280 yards, avoid that big bunker on the left. It is going to leave a short iron in, but the hole bends to the left as well as the slope of the land is right to left. Got to take that into account.
I mean, she absolutely annihilated that tee ball. Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Score that a birdie. Now set to play the first par 3 of this U.S. Open, Frank, the third hole here at Chambers Bay.
A little bit like the second hole where the contours slope from right to left. So if that breeze is coming from that direction, that's going to swing the ball all the way across the green. And this green is anything other than symmetrical.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are, because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Pretty good shot right there. Well, that's disappointing. That's a drop shot at number 3. Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, still has the lead.
Can't afford another, though.
Frank, the fourth hole here at Chambers Bay is the kind of par 4 that says, emphatically, U.S. Open.
Yeah, it's not a rarity these days to have par 4s that are around 500 yards. This is just slightly shy of that. Once again, it's a stiff tee shot. Avoid trouble left and right. A little bit of a bend to the right on this hole, but don't be fooled by that. If anything, the drive has to be hit down the left side.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Well, Frank, as we know, golf is not played generally on a flat surface, and here we go, uphill.
Yeah, and the uphill lie is going to guarantee you more loft than normal, so you're going to have to counteract that with maybe an extra club.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. On the green in regulation. Good putt. Now the fifth hole here at the U.S. Open, and Frank, quite a dramatic tee shot.
Everything's really in front of you. You can see it from the elevated tee, bunkers left and right. That's not really the problem. One of the problems is that bunker just short, smack bang in the middle of this green. So the chances of flying that bunker and stopping on this green down breeze are probably next to none. So you're going to have to go in right or left of that bunker.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Frank, not just a player, but an artist. Just beautiful work right there.
The only thing I can say, Rich, is that was Seviesque.
Mark a birdie on the card. Getting set to hit the tee shot here at the 6th at Chambers Bay. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
There's a nice dune down that left side that sort of gives you a good line that you can work the ball off here. But remember, this is a links golf course, so you can try and fight with Mother Nature because she'll always win. So just anything down the left, let that ball sort of kick its way back towards the middle of the fairway. A lengthy par 4, though, at 495.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Now the approach shot here at the 6th at Chambers Bay, and what's the key, Frank?
Well, I think it's a fun second shot, Rich. Too often people just look at the yardage and they blaze away, but really, if you wanted to play this hole as the Scots want to play the game, then when the pin's at the back, you'd hit a low running shot that bisects those two bunkers.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
Really? This is that awkward length.
Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Well, Frank, what a stretch of tough par 4s here at Chambers Bay. Now to the 7th, long uphill par 4 and a lot of trouble to the right.
Yeah, and it's all sand, that's for sure. If you miss the field on the left, then it's all dunes, so take your pick, really. But ideally, that green piece that the superintendent often mows each and every day, that's the place to go. And for a U.S. Open at 508 yards, if you miss that little green strip, then this hole will be hazardous because it's going to play a lot longer than that uphill.
Frank, on an uphill shot like this one, did you do anything differently in terms of your setup over the ball?
Yeah, I made sure the ball wasn't too far forward because on an uphill shot, there's always a struggle to get all your weight going forward.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Just a well-played approach shot right there. Only about 10 feet away and a good look at birdie here. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Beautifully done. Nice birdie. Well, this hole, the 8th, says U.S. Open all the way. The tee set back to well over 600 yards, Frank, par 5.
Well, it's called high road and low road, so which way would you prefer? I'd rather take the high road and that sort of whip one down the fairway, hopefully around the 300-yard mark, and you just might make this par 5 and 2. Then you can tell all your mates. If you take the low road, you're going to rack up a big number, and you don't want to tell anybody.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Well, that is a ball-striking clinic right there. Another dazzling approach shot. Pretty close. These putts keep the round together.
That was cruel. It looked like it was certainly going in.
Frank, you hate to miss it from that distance.
More than a setback there.
So a tester from 4 feet. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Moving on here at the U.S. Open, we've seen long par 4s, not unusual, long par 5s, and now we finish this front 9, Frank, with a par 3.
And this is a great example of how a US Open can level the field. Everybody's going to get a tee and a ball here, and this is about hitting your best shot. And this is one hole. If you're struggling a little bit, a little 2 here is going to go in a long way, pushing you around in the right direction.
That will be a great look at birdie. Good chance here. Currently at 5 under par. Frank, we have said it over and over. Another birdie. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that, hanging in the sky.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Good looking shot right here. What a great shot. Right next to the hole. It's about 5 feet. Settles in over the putt. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Stepping up to the tee here at the 11th, Frank.
It looks straightforward. You see a big dune in the middle of the fairway. You can really take that out of play. Get it down there as far.
I love this. She is winding up. Just wants to tear the cover off this golf ball. Are you kidding me? Come on. You can't hit a ball that hard.
That is crushing it beyond all crushing. Can we get a measure on that one? That's enormous.
The 11th hole. Frank, what's ahead here?
This is another green that's sort of sloped. There's a lot of little slopes in this green here, plus the green angles from right to left. So it just depends on whether that second shot that lands. You've got to be well aware of what you're landing on. If you're landing on a downslope, it's going to kick forward. Obviously, an upslope, it's going to stop that much quicker.
Well played here. Went straight for the flagstick, and she will have a nice putt coming up. Shouldn't be a problem here. Drops it in for birdie. Frank, we just came off that long par 4 at the 11th, well over 500 yards. Now at the 12th, we go in the opposite direction. This has become a staple at a U.S. Open. the reachable par 4.
Yeah, the logic would say just grab sort of a mid-iron to a long iron, knock it down, wedge it on there, and have no strain, no sweat. But who's going to play golf like that? Take the head cover off. Come on, chance it. It's called narrows. The odds are going to be narrow, but you just might hit the ball.
That's one of the more depressing sights in golf. You've hit a good one, and then it just sucks back too much spin off the green. On the green, and a chance for birdie. 12 feet still to go. Continues to roll it very well all day long. With just 6 holes left to play here at the U.S. Open, we arrive at the 13th. It's a dogleg par 4 to the right.
And in a U.S. Open, obviously 534 yards means if you make a mistake off the tee, the chances of making 4 here are minimal. So fairway first, it is one of the wider fairways on the golf course. You're still going to have a lengthy second shot, and you must avoid the bunker that guards the front of the screen.
Frank, quite a bit to consider here at the 13th.
Yeah, there's little knobs on the left and the right side of the screen, so that bunker you can see, at first it looks like you've got to avoid it. Well, you've really just got to carry it.
Stuck the follow-through right there. This could be really good. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Stroke that with authority. Frank, this is the 5th par 4 in a row, and they're not easy. This one here at 14, really a daunting tee shot.
It is. That's why it's called Cape Fair. A true Cape hole in golf, Rich, is when you've got to decide how much you want to bite off when you hit across a slight dogleg. And this one, really, you're going to be rewarded the further left you can go. There is one little bunker in the middle of the fairway that you have to avoid. That's going to be 320 or so yards off the tee. This hole, 546 yards, you're going to see a variety of second shots, or the length of second shots here, determined purely by the bravery of the tee shot.
Split the fairway with that. Just a gorgeous swing. Frank, what do you want to do with the approach here at the 14th?
Just use that, the mounding that's sort of supplied there in front of you, the right side of the screen, maybe kick it towards it. There is a, sort of runoff area to the left, but then all of a sudden you're in the sand. So keep the ball slightly right of center.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
So just a formality here. Good effort and good par putt. Now to the 15th hole here at Chambers Bay and the U.S. Open. It stands out, at least to the eye, because it has the only tree on the golf course.
That's right. That's why it's called lone fir, this hole. And especially when they played off that short tee in the U.S. Open, 167 yards to the middle of the green. This is certainly a chance for a birdie coming in.
Headed for the bunker? You don't want to make a habit of it. In the bunker, again, off the tee. Well, bunker play is really about technique and feel. The two greatest ever are probably Gary Player and Seve Ballesteros. Seve actually was so good, he was so skilled, that he could open up a 3-iron. That's right, a 3-iron on a short bunker shot from a greenside bunker and splash it to a couple of feet as if he had just used a 60-degree sandwich. Amazing.
Another good swing, another good approach shot.
Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, still has the lead.
Can't afford another, though.
Now to the three-hole finishing stretch here at Chambers Bay, and we get it started with a relatively short par 4. It's a 423-yard hole, the 16th, Frank.
Being slightly to the right, there's a huge bunker all the way down the right side that sort of starts, I don't know, maybe about 100 yards off the tee, goes all the way to the green. You go right, and then you realize why this hole is called beached.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
And they're close, about 8 feet from the cup. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
And getting ready for the putt. And that's in for a par. Now to the 17th, par 3 here at Chambers Bay.
Yeah, they say beached at 16, that's the name. This one's called derailed. So you imagine coming down the stretch of a US Open, exactly what you're going to require. That's your best golf. And you're going to need your best tee shot here at this par 3. It mightn't be overly long, but when you look at that green just sitting up there perched, this one you do not want to make a mistake in.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. That's well played. Now a good look at birdie.
It's no snap, though.
Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Par here's fine, isn't it, Frank? Now to the 18th hole, Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walk-in golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Frank, you want to finish with one good swing here, the approach shot to the 18th hole.
I don't think there's a flat putt on this green, Rich. There's so many different sections. We said the course was like a maze. This 18th green can be like a maze. If you're on the right portion, then obviously that certainly helps, but there's so many different levels to this green.
Excellent shot to within 10 feet to win the U.S. Open. Good putt. Just a tremendous week of golf. And that, my friend, Here's a winner right there.
Yeah, and he should be proud of himself too. It took golf of the highest quality to beat this high-quality field, and that is something that you will remember for a long, long time.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Mid-Season Classic. Always a pleasure to be along the coast of Maine, Lighthouse Point to be exact. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Frank, this is sure to be another exciting day of golf out there. What are the challenges facing our players today?
The length of the golf course for a start, Rich. This golf course just under 7,700 yards. It's one of the longest ones you'll play. And of course the cliffs, that's why it's called this, they certainly are in play. There is one double green out there, that's the 10th and the 13th hole, they share the same green. Lots of great design features, and you've got it on a prime day in great condition. So enjoy the round and make sure you feast on the vistas as well.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there.
Rich, these winds haven't subsided at all today. It's certainly a tough test out there right now for these players.
They get your attention, don't they, as a player?
They have club selection right now, vital.
You put the ball back in your stance just a little bit?
If you're going to hit it down. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Frank, not just a player, but an artist. Just beautiful work right there.
The only thing I can say, Rich, is that was Seve-esque.
Starting to move now, Frank, on this leaderboard.
Certainly going all in the positive direction. He's in the middle of the pack, now top 15.
Now at the second hole here at Lighthouse, it's a par 3, 234 yards. Difficult hole, Frank, especially when the wind picks up.
It is, and you can see with that bunker on the right side, it's obviously the bailout area because the problem side is to the left of this green. That's where the cliff starts to run all the way down to the ocean. This is a very difficult par 3, not just because of its length, but because it's exposed to all of Maine's elements.
So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Moves into the top 10 with that birdie. Frank, I like the mix of holes as we start out here at Lighthouse Point. Tough par 4, then a par 3. And now a scoring opportunity with a par 5 at the third.
Scoring opportunity with a good drive. Very thin fairway here, Rich. This hole is built for accuracy, and players off the tee, they're going to have to try and hit this fairway. Long fairway bunker runs almost the entire length of this hole, and it could act actually as a little helper, stop you going down by the cliff, because anything left, obviously, on that cliff line will go all the way down to the ocean.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Oh, what a shot. Setting up for an eagle here. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Well, that may have gotten the leader's attention. Into the top 10 with an eagle.
They had to have heard that roar.
We have already begun. Let's pick up with the action at hole number 4. Frank, I've been impressed with the play to this point early in the round.
Yeah, it's solid, without being spectacular, and that's actually a huge compliment.
Nice long tee shot there and a good lie, Frank. Second shot now from 100 yards. Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Now at the fifth here at Lighthouse Point, it's a par 4. Frank, what are we in store for?
When you stand on this tee, Rich, you don't see any fairway bunkers, but be careful. It can certainly fool you. The goal really with...
Hold on here a second. She is warming it up for a big one. She wants to smash this as far as she can hit it. Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super. Long, just met longer.
Frank, that's as good as I have seen all day long.
I think we've got to blame that on the weather. That weather, the wind had to help that ball give it another 20, 30 yards.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. Good chance here. Currently at 5 under par. Looks primed right now.
Anything other than backing up. Very aggressive. That birdie, now in second.
Par 3 sixth is relatively short, 198 yards, Frank.
But this one, really, you've got to go airborne here. That bunker that protects the left side and front, you've got to carry that and get it to land soft so it doesn't skip through the back of the screen.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Has it. Now to 7 under for the tournament. 7th hole at Lighthouse Point is only 370 yards, Frank. Are you happy if you walk out of here with anything other than birdie?
If you hit the fairway, you definitely should be looking at birdie, but the biggest problem here is to decide, Rich, what club to hit off the tee. You could hit a multitude of clubs here. Further up you go, the narrower this fairway gets.
Second shot. Good look at the green.
Should be safely on deck.
That one was running so hot. Looking to splash this softly onto the green.
Well, that bunker's, is it getting more sand in it, or is he just sinking?
Frank, there's nothing like catching a bunker shot just perfectly. Splashes out, lands softly, and just runs up to that hole.
Yeah, it's like 3D. There's the component in the strike where it's going to land, and then the third part of it is how much will it roll.
Been a tough hole so far. This is the 5th shot, and still in the bunker. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Missed on that one, Frank.
Yeah, not a problem.
A disastrous triple bogey attempt here. That puts them at 4 under for the round. Another par 3. We're at the 8th. It's only 165 yards, Frank. This has been just a pure display of ball striking all day long. Has not missed a single green, every one in regulation. Excellent read for birdie to move to 5 under for the tournament. Now to the par 5 9th. Frank, what are we looking at here?
Well, for the longer hitters, it's actually a chance to reach a par 5 and 2. 300 yards is where that fairway starts to bend more to the left. So if you do the maths, it's going to give you roughly 250 yards to the middle sort of front left of that green. That's the easy way to play the hole. Make a mistake off the tee and you might find out this is a more difficult three-shotter than what you were anticipating.
That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Second shot coming up here at the par 5.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
She is putting the full arsenal of her skill set on display this afternoon. Beautiful shot. Now to 7 under par. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Like the looks of this one.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful rhythmic swing right there, and right down Peachtree. Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Frank, how impressive has this round been considering the strong winds?
Oh, it's remarkable, Rich. You look at everybody else out there struggling. This has been a round to savor.
That would be a great look at birdie. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now we go to the 11th hole, and this is a par 5, but it's actually shorter than the par 4 10th. This one comes in at 530 yards, and more evidence of the kind of creativity by the award-winning design team of Patel and Duncan.
Well, that's right. Patel really is known to be the shaper. He's the one that makes all those interesting shapes. For example, here, nipping it in the fairway, making driver almost too much club or very, very risky, plus the front bunker there. Now, this is a great par 5. The reason why, it's reachable, it's tempting, but you don't know what you're going to finish up shooting on it.
Excellent, perfect position.
Ball's just sitting up, too. You could hit anything from there.
That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. Back here now at the 12th hole, par 4, 439 yards, Frank, to the center of this green off the black tees.
And if the breeze blows left to right, this hole plays very hard. One of the reasons why, just through the fairways littered with bunkers. So not only do you have to pick the right line, but somehow you've got to get that ball the right distance as that hole bends completely to the left. Rather interesting shaped green here at 12.
This is a stiff test, no doubt.
Well, where this ball's going, there's no fairway there, only rough. This looks like it's going to find the target. I mean, this skill and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. The great hits just keep coming. Moves to -11 on the day. Now to the 13th hole, and Frank, this could make you quake in your soft spikes. 702 yards, par 5. It might should be a par 6 or a 7.
Well, I think a few people probably will make 6 or 7 here. You're right. This is a rarity in golf. 700 yards. So forget about any thought of even getting close to this par 5 and 2. Plus, just to add insult to injury, the two bunkers off the tee are perfectly placed. They're about 298 yards, smack bang in the middle of that. I doubt you can get past those, but you need a good drive, really, to try and leave yourself a short third shot.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway.
Second shot.
So a longer putt coming up next, about 30 feet away. This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt. That is a cross-country putt right there.
Up and over the ridge. That's a seagull.
Well. What do we have here, partner? The par 5 13th, or is it a par 8? I can't tell.
It looks like a misprint, Rich. 702 yards. And not only that, too, they put the two fairway bunkers in a perfect place. Perfect place if they want to annoy your tee shot. It's going to take 310, 320 yards just to get past that. Then you've got a long way to go. And, of course, remember when you're on 10, this is the shared green. So 13 and 10, this is where they meet up again. At the end of a long walk.
That was like Usain Bolt, Frank, right through the tape.
Yeah, that first step, that was never going to stop.
Pretty good shot right there. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. 15th hole, and Frank, a return to sanity. 387 yards, par 4.
Yeah, second easiest hole on the golf course. Bends a little to the left. Just avoid the sand left and that little pot bunker on the right. And you should be set up with a relatively short iron in to a green that, really, the only problem is if you go long.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpet.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Under on the day. And another fun hole here at Lighthouse Point. It's the last par 3 on the back nine as we begin this closing stretch. 241 yards downhill, par 3 16th. Making it look easy at this point. Another beautiful approach shot. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Now at the 17th, and Frank a chance to make a birdie. Who knows, with a couple of huge pokes, you could make Eagle 3. This is a pretty stout hole at a little bit more than 600 yards.
It is, especially if that breeze...
Oh, I love this. She is winding up, just wants to tear the cover off this golf ball.
Just smokes it.
Wait, this could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it.
Excellent position, just a huge shot. And now the second shot here at this par 5. Crucial eagle attempt on the way. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy.
How did that not go in?
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Frank, we've made it to the finishing hole. If you're having a good day, you stop and you reflect for just a moment. The beauty surrounding you, how well you've played. If it hasn't gone all that well, you're thinking about jumping on the Juniata Crossway Bridge off to the left and getting out of Dodge.
That's an absolute beauty.
Probably going to have to hit one more club here, Frank. A little bit uphill. Good-looking shot right here. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
She continues to play well. This is for her birdie. Count that. That's a birdie. Well, Frank, round one in the books. Look who's on top of the leaderboard.
And that's with some strong play today. They don't really need to look back. Strong play heading into the second round tomorrow.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Mid-Season Classic. Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320.
Just a bit left of the hole location.
Should still be okay.
Well played here, went straight for the flagstick, and she will have a nice putt coming up. Getting set now over the putt.
Great start.
Now at the second hole here at Lighthouse, it's a par 3, 234 yards. Difficult hole, Frank, especially when the wind picks up.
It is, and you can see with that bunker on the right side, that's obviously the bailout area, because the problem side is to the left of this green. That's where the cliff starts to run all the way down to the ocean. This is a very difficult par 3, not just because of its length, but because it's exposed to all of Maine's elements.
Well, just needs to refocus right here. Out of bounds on that last shot, and needs to keep this one in play. This will be the third shot after being penalized for going out of bounds. Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today it's live opening round coverage of the Arizona Summer Classic. Let's see what she's got here. She is loading up for the big one.
Ball just took off the face. Well, that's the best that was going to be on the fringe.
Not too bad. On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. And getting ready for the putt. Birdie sends her to 1 under on the leaderboard. Teed up here at the par 4 second, Frank, what do players need to look out for off the tee?
This hole has been lengthened in 2014, some 30-plus yards. Bunkering down the right has also changed, making this drive a little bit more important now. You can't just blaze away over the hill. Green also changed with the addition of 2 bunkers on the left side. I've seen some long tee shots, but it's the advantage to tee that ball up. Get it up there quickly, get the wind behind you. It's amazing how far you can hit it.
Good swing, good shot yet again. That will be a great look at birdie. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
This would give her the par. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Now on to the third, first par 5 on the course here at TPC Scottsdale.
Yeah, the length of the hole hasn't really changed. Used to be 2 fairway bunkers down the left. Now there's only 1. Still a hazard that runs down the right side. A strategic hold if you can't make this par 5 and 2 in a brand new green that has been completely changed.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Second shot, good look at the green. What a nice shot. Right on the green and a pretty easy putt on the way. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. To -2 early in the round. We have already begun. Let's pick up with the action at hole number 4. Couple of birdies already on the card. Still early, Frank, but we've seen some solid play.
This is exactly how you want to start the first round of a tournament, Rich.
That's well played. Places it about 10 feet out for birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Now to the fifth hole and a challenging par 4.
Slightly longer this year, played off a new tee at the back, and there used to be 2 bunkers down the right side. They've now been put together to form one, and in the perfect positions that really make you think about your tee shot. It takes a very big drive to try and carry that bunker on the right. It's going to be at least 315 plus yards to get past that. Green itself still tilts a little left to right and back towards the player. That's a ginormous tee shot.
Setting up for an approach shot here. Frank, this is the way you draw it up. This is how the game's supposed to be played.
Yeah, so far, everything going according to plan.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. That is classy.
Yeah, a chance of going in.
This for birdie. Frank, this is a good position to be in for a player. Making birdies, making some moves.
Yeah, starting to get the momentum, too, for the finish.
Now to the par 4 6th. Decision time, Frank. Driver, or do you go with 3-wood?
A lot of that's going to depend on if there's any breeze. If the breeze is at your back, you can drive it all the way down the right side and take those 2 bunkers down the right, completely out of play. This hole's been stiffened up, though. The length hasn't increased, but that bunkering in that choke point. So, the strategy. Do you have the length to get past them? Or, if you have to lay up, it's going to leave a much longer second shot.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be, what, 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that. This is pretty good, Rich. Maybe just a touch right.
Frank, not just a player, but an artist. Just beautiful work right there.
The only thing I can say, Rich, is that was Seve-esque.
Settles in over the putt. Frank, you can feel the momentum shifting.
You can. It might look tight at the top at the moment, but you definitely get the impression we're going to see a change in the lead very soon.
Beautiful birdie right there. And another green in regulation. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy.
More than a bonus on the scorecard, that.
This is a good hole, Frank, the par 4 8th.
Yet another dogleg left, Rich, on the front side. And it's a sharper dogleg now because they've put in 2 bunkers down the left side. It used to be a bailout area for the players in the past. You can't do that anymore. And I doubt anybody can fly it over that left one. It's nearly 330 yards to carry that in the air. Those 2 bunkers have forced the players to go out to the right, making that second shot a little bit longer now.
Long and straight, about 320 yards, and in the fairway. Our featured golfer setting up for another approach. Really needs to get something going here, Frank.
And that green right now must look like the size of a thimble.
Good-looking shot right here. Terrific golf shot. And now, that for an easy birdie. Now to 7 under par. Finishing out the front side now at the 9th. And Frank, what do you think of this par 4?
Nice way to finish the front 9, Rich. Very thin green, protected by that little splash bunker in the front. Iron players get a real advantage here. One bunker down the right side to be aware of off the tee, though. I doubt anybody could carry that.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Frank, it's not just a golf tournament at the TPC Scottsdale.
It's a party.
It's a giant throwdown, isn't it?
It certainly is, but the atmosphere works there. It just fits in. The players are aware of it. They're quite fine to play amongst it too, because it's such a rare event.
And to be honest, a lot of the fans, and there were almost 180,000 on Saturday alone in 2013, a lot of the fans, they don't see a single golf shot. They're too busy having a good time, having a party. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Excellent start off the tee. That's a great way to begin this hole. This, the second shot here at the par 4. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Getting set now over the putt. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Moving on to the 11th hole, Frank, water all along the left side. 472 yards. How do you handle this one?
Well, this one's weird because the tees are a little off-center. They start down the right side, which makes it into a dogleg. And you mentioned the water. It always comes into play. There are 0 fairway bunkers. You don't need them here at 11 because really it's all about the tee shot. Find the fairway, then even though it's a long par 4, you should be able to at least attack that green safely. Miss the fairway to the right, which is the barrel outside, and your problems are just starting. That's an absolute beauty.
That'll be from about 90 yards away. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Eyeing this putt for a birdie. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. 12th hole now, looking at 192 yards, par 3.
Won't quite play that distance because that tee shot is considerably downhill. But you really have to be cognizant of the wind if it's coming off the left because it easily brings that water into play down the right should that tee shot just start moving with the wind.
Well, she just played a wonderful shot from back there. These putts keep the round together. Well, in the words of the late, great baseball commentator for the Yankees, Phil Rizzuto, it's time for Holy Cow, Whitey. That's 11 under par. I mean, she absolutely annihilated that tee ball. Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. Second shot, good look at the green. She is making it look easy. Another excellent approach shot. And getting ready for the putt. Continuing to play well, a birdie. At the 14th now, it's a par 4.
And a dogleg left once again. The bunker on the left side's been pushed out to the fairway to really make you think whether or not you can carry that.
Oh, I love this. She is winding up, just wants to tear the cover off this golf ball. Are you kidding me? Come on, you can't hit a ball that hard.
That is crushing it beyond all crushing. Long just meant longer. Well, par 4s, they're not all the same, Rich, but after that tee shot, I guess you can say this one's going to be easy.
That was a beauty right there. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
Oh, that incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
$14 under on the day. Now at the par 5 15th, and Frank, there is plenty to catch your eye. There's also quite a bit to catch your ear. You can hear the roars at the par 3 16th. So how do you focus on the task at hand?
Great question, Rich. You realize you're about to enter the stadium part of the golf course, but this is the last par 5 that you're going to play. We've seen eagles here over the years. We've seen many a player hit it in the water off the tee or water short of the green. Certainly one of the tougher tee shots coming in. No bunkers here to worry about, just that huge lake to the left. Find the fairway. You might just find the green.
And now the second shot here at this par 5. She is putting the full arsenal of her skill set on display this afternoon. Beautiful shot. Shouldn't be a problem here. That's how you keep a round going, making from that distance. Frank, the one moment that sort of made the 16th hole what it is today would have to be Tiger's ace in 1997 here at the TPC Scottsdale when it was raining plastic cups.
It was also his reaction too, and that ushered in the Tiger Woods era that we became associated with, which is the fist pumping, the rowdy spectators. I mean, he was one of the few players that bridged the gap between spectator and golf course. And it still goes on till today. And I think Rory McIlroy probably is the only other player that starts to broach that type of inside and outside atmosphere with golf.
Still to this day, it's the loudest single moment that I can ever remember hearing on a golf course. This can be a cruel game at times.
Can't birdie them all, Rich.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. In for par. 17th hole, Frank, and this one is really set up for maximum excitement.
Well, there's two things that you really think of. How do I play this hole and how is it going to affect the rest of my round? This is the penultimate hole. If you make a mistake here, it'll carry over. It might cost you the tournament. But if you're a hero, it's going to carry forward to 18. This is why 17 is such a big swing hole.
Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. Just didn't read that one quite right. Just a couple of feet. Cleans that up in the hole.
Rich, 18 was always considered a long finishing hole.
Not for J.B. Holmes.
Yeah, the water was always in play. And then the day he took it over the left side and carried everything and went on the win, that completely changed the way this golf course played ever since that day.
And it resulted in some of the changes we're seeing now.
Yeah, evidence, the new bunkering down the left side, but it showed us all how much and how strong these guys are, how much they've improved over the years.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Setting up for an approach shot here. Well, Frank, these winds have not at all subsided. Still a challenge.
Yeah, the same for everybody, and that's where you've just got to adjust your own mental path. Golf course was going to be difficult when you teed off, and it's certainly no different now.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Right in the heart.
Rich, in that great opportunity, name on top of the leaderboard. It is only round one.
Good place to be.